Good morning. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Saturday, February 4th. We're going to start off with a quick overview of the markets and then jump into Monday's pop scam plays. We're looking at the Dow 15-minute chart. Big rally on Friday, of course, driven by the jobs report, much better than expected. Really, the only people who were not happy with that jobs report were the Republicans, who are quickly seeing the slim hopes they had of winning the presidential election this year really start to slip away. If I was to say this, you hear Reagan talked about a lot over the last several weeks and several months by the Republicans. This economy and this re-election, very, very similar to Reagan's first term and first re-election bid back in 1984. Economy was in the crapper, unemployment was over 8%, but in that year running into the re-election, the stats started to build, jobs started to get created, and Reagan ended up going into just a big win in the November election. Same thing setting up for Obama right now. Continued job gains, 23 months in a row now. Economy starting to turn around. We're not where we were, but we're starting to see those nice tailwinds pushing things nicely through. We're at the NASDAQ, hit at an 11-year high on Friday. We haven't been paying attention to that, but the NASDAQ hit its high since 2000, right before the dot-com implosion. So, some very nice action in the market, economy picking up. Republicans cannot be happy this weekend. Let's put it like that. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we're overextended. We had that big rally. We consolidated for most of the day. What is Monday going to bring? Stochastics points to some possible downside, but, this market, especially over the last month, even though we do not have Fed QE2 money, there is Fed money in the system. Let's not make that mistake. There is Fed money coming into the system, but not to the levels we've seen. And this market is acting exactly like it did a year ago when we had that QE2 money flowing into the market, no matter what the news is. If we have bad news, we have small dips and then rally. If we have good news, we romp. That's just been that kind of market recently. The daily chart, if we actually check out the daily chart, here's a 2-year view. We are right, approaching another breakout level here. Next resistance would be the 13,200 plus area on the Dow. Now, we are up quite a bit in this market, and every time we look like we're going to retrace, here's a tighter view, we continue to ride the 20-day exponential higher. So if you're looking for a signal to get really, really cautious in the market, it would probably be a break down and close under the 20-day exponential, and that is 12,600 right now. If we broke and closed under that level, then the 50-day moving average would be our target. Now, what news is going to drive that? Maybe some European news, but, if Greece is able to come to an agreement over the next few days, that could be our catalyst to push us higher to 13K. A lot of people still do not believe this rally. And like I said, this is almost exactly like we saw going into March and April last year. Slow move higher up, small down days, continue to get bought, and we just slog ever higher. Small caps have been on fire. Look at the move over the last 3 days on small cap. We've been consolidating under that 800 level, and over the last 2 days, boom, almost a 5% gain on the small cap Russell 2K index. Next resistance is the T-bagger high of 860 that we saw in July. So that is our next level to watch. Now, another possible downside risk in the market, maybe if, Washington tries to delay the payroll tax cut, who knows? The economic data is not good for the Republicans right now, so they may try anything to, halt the inevitable move higher. That and Europe and, are pretty much our only things right now. We are very overbought across all indices, but just like we can be oversold and more oversold like we were throughout the summer, we can continue to be more and more overbought each day. The way to play it is play high, play big intraday, and then take reduced risk home at night. Simple as that. And that's the strategy, we've been adopting over the last month. Now, one thing you might have noticed on Friday, this week we saw a lot of volume. Traders are really back in this market in a big way, and we started to see a lot of volume come into plays. Plays with no volume, they start getting to technical breakout levels, and then the volume just explodes and the stocks romp. Now, Friday was a little bit different. Maybe because it was a long weekend and the market was up big. I really hate big up days. Usually stocks move much, much easier and there are better trading opportunities when the market is either red or up small. When the market is up big, it tends for some reason to attract sellers. Two reasons, the market's up big. Traders don't want to really chase, thinking, a retrace in the overall market will scare traders out of stock. And likewise, big up days, funds and traders tend to like to take profits on those days. So I don't like big up days, and we saw a lot of that on Friday. A lot of plays getting very big volume at breakout, and then sellers just jumping on the ask and holding them. OPXT was an example of one we played in the chat room. Let's actually look at OPXT. Great chart breakout on this one on Friday on huge buying volume, and then someone just parked on the ask. Sell. We had 1.25 million shares come into this stock. We broke through that 123 level, and then we're still able to push it back to $1.19. Saw a lot of that on Friday. On Monday, if we're red or only up small, we may see that diminish. Or a break through 13K. You got a lot of traders thinking the rally is overextended, so they're looking to book profits on plays. If we break through another level, you'll see the buying frenzy start to pick up again. So that's what we're going to be looking for this week. Anyway, let's jump into the PopScan plays. PopScan on fire over the last month. Just monster plays daily on this list. CXM has been on the PopScan for the last few days. Little small biotech play. 38 cents is the breakout. 40 probably is the safer entry. Targets 42, 47, 59. Positive MACD cross likely on Monday. So definitely one of these cheapy ones to keep an eye on. MVIS. Friday, let's call it Turd Day. All the turds from the last 2 months all decided to wake up on Friday. MVIS, SATC. Big move on MVIS, but as is typically the case when this stock has a big move, gave it back into the close. Now, if you're looking for a rebuy on this one, probably a break through 48 cents. Might give you a move to 51 to 55 cents. If you jump into that scalp on Monday, tight stops. On a 48 cent entry, I would place my stops probably 45, 46 cents. Look for 3 to 5 cents on this one. Chart looks nice. If it's able to get back through that 50 level again and close above it, you could be looking at a gap fill up to 70 cents over the next few days. DEJ looks like it wants to break out again. 50 cent breakout. Target 55 to 61 cents. Stops would be 48 cents. Cancer stocks did very, very well on Friday. THLD was up 100% on a deal they announced and romped into the close. We jumped into a couple of these stocks going into the last hour. CYCC, very, very close to a breakout. Now, as you can see, we've got two breakout levels here. 60 cents, 63 cents. This stock has tried to break out 3 times over the last month. Each time, it's been rebuffed at the 63 cent area. If you jump into this one on a 60 cent break, 56 cents would be your stop, but I hate giving such a large stop on a stock like this. If you wait for that 63 cent break, 60 cents, 59 cents would be your stops, 68, and then 80 plus would be the target. Cancer Bios may be in play Monday and Tuesday, so definitely keep a close eye on these ones. SATC, as I mentioned, the turd stocks woke up in a big way on Friday. This one, from being a piece of crap over the last several weeks, all of a sudden decided to wake up and closed right above its 50-day moving average. Next breakout here is 65 cents. 72 and 81 would be the targets. 61 cents would be the stops. BPAX, little bio play, right at a breakout level here. 75 cents is the break, 80 cents, and then, this one had a really big sell-off. If it gets through 80 cents, it could see a big gap fill up to that 1+ area. Stops on a 75-cent entry would be 71 cents. BWEN, nice little pop on some federal news about allowing offshore wind farms. Next breakout here, 81 cents with the 200-day moving average up there at 93 cents being target, 79 cents stop. AVII is another one of those stocks that should have exploded over the last couple of days, but has a seller parked on the ask. Breakout 103, 111, and the 200-day moving average at 118 would be target. 99 cents would be stops on that entry. OXGN, we tried this one in the chat room early on Friday on the momentum in THLD, but again, the stock had a seller, but it's got a nice chart. That's the problem here. 116 is probably going to be the break level here. Targets would be 130 plus with stops at $1.10. HIMX finally got that breakout level on Friday through the 200-day moving average as well. Continuation move here would be to 162, 180, 145 would be your stops. FBN is almost a 100% mover from the January popper list. Oops. And is now a rule of two play. 210 is the next breakout. 218, 220 would be the targets. 207 stops. Now this chart coming up right here looks like one we need to keep a really close eye on Monday. AONE, also a play we got back in as a January popper play that has done very, very nicely. Breakout here is the 250 level. A break through 250, 275, and $3 would be the target. Now this one closed in the 230s, so if you were to enter this one earlier, you could. Just keep your stops, 5-cent trailing stops on this one. Maybe a 240 break on this with 233, 235 stops as an early target. 250 is the point that should set this chart free. Definitely one to keep an eye on Monday. MBLX, another one that has been coiling here for a breakout. As at 277 is the break, 280 is the safer entry. 20-day exponential is at 320. All we're going to look for is 275 or $3 and then see where it goes from there. Stops on a 27 or 280 entry would be 273. As you can see, it is about to get a positive MACD cross. Stochastics have broken up through 50. Two things I love to see, and RSI is coming out of the basement. So this one could be due for a nice little bounce. It'll probably need news and a big volume spike, but definitely another one to keep an eye on this week. As is this next one. Just like the other two, has been on the pop scan for a few days now. Typically that means we need to pay attention to them, because when they're coiling like this and they're on the pop scan for multiple days, it means we need to pay attention. 296 is the breakout that is above the 20-day exponential. 307, 325 would be the stops. 285 our target. 285 would be the stops on this one. Coiling for a move could be this week. Definitely keep an eye on it. GNOM. We tried this one on Wednesday. Continues to coil under its 50-day moving average. Its peers continue to go on big runs. 310 is the breakout. $3 stops. 330, 350 targets. So one to keep an eye on. I'm sure it's probably going to wake up and wake up big, possibly this week. Office Depot, ODP. Next target on this one, if you're scalping, is $3.25. $3 stops on this one. ANAD. Again, another continuation play. Next breakout here is 320. And actually, let's look at it. Here's a one-year view of this chart. 320 was the Friday high, a breakthrough to 320, and we're looking at a gap fill back to that 344 level. Stops on that entry. You know, it's tough with this breaking out the way it's going. 310, 10-cent trailing stops is probably what I would look at placing them on a break through 320 here, 344 target. NLST breakout on this one is 360. Target 385, 396, 350 stops. Again, nice little setup on this one. When this one gets volume, it likes to move. If the market's got a positive bias on Monday, definitely one that could get some nice action. VICL, one of the stocks on our bird flu list. It's been trying to break out and coiling here over the last couple of days. We got a positive MACD cross on Thursday. 380, 200-day moving average. As you can see, there's quite a bit of resistance at this level dating back to the start of January. Breakthrough 380, 50-day moving average up there at 4 plus would be the target. Stops on that entry, 375. ECYT, another stock hammered on whatever news it was, probably FDA news, that has been consolidating over the last few weeks. With the market being the way it is, these kind of plays in a market like this tend to respond a lot better than they do in crappy markets we saw during the summer. So you're going to see a lot of these stocks on the pop scan as the market remains in an upward trend as it is right now. Breakout 370, 20-day exponential, target 394. Stops on that entry would be 365. This one has a nice little setup, especially if it gets big volume. Home builder stocks have started breaking out again. It started on Thursday, continued on Friday. SPF 424 is the breakout. 440, 475 targets. We get those targets by checking out the 1-year chart. You can see here on the 1 year, actually I think I had to go back 2 years on this one. 2-year chart. As you can see, breakout through 424, 440, and then up there 450, 475, $5 psychological targets. As I said, the home builder is doing very, very well this week. Another two that were on the pop scan. Actually, let me just mention them now. HOV. Nice breakout move. BZH. Another home builder. Nice breakout move here. So these stocks are, the sector is really starting to heat up right now. CADX. Nice little biotech play. Breakout 430. Target 458. 475. $5. Target 422. Reminds me of SGMO that went huge for us this past week. Definitely one to keep an eye on very closely on Monday. Another one to keep an eye on, DCTH. This has been flagging under the, or just above the 200-day moving average. It's had a crazy up move since December. I mean, this one's up 100% over the last several weeks. Looks like it may go again. 450 break, 475 the $5 target, 438 would be the stops. SIFY. Tough stock to trade sometimes. Needs a lot of volume. Surprisingly, didn't really participate in the social media rant that we saw over the last few days. 475 is the breakout here. $5 would be the target. One I would keep a really close eye on. It's been bottoming here over the last couple of days. I thought it would have gone earlier on the social media hype. It may go this week. Can be a tough trader to do. 475 entry, 465 would be the stops. And again, if you watch this one, you also have to keep an eye on REDF. They usually move in tandem, and this one also looks like it could break out on Monday. $8 breakout. You know, if this one got to 825 plus and SIFI was still flat, I would definitely look to jump into SIFI for a pair trade, because the more REDF runs, traders will obviously navigate back to SIFI. ROYL was on the pop scan Friday, tried to break out, didn't. Actually seeing quite a few, I didn't put them on this list, but there was quite a few so-so charts, but they were on the pop scan in the oil sector, so makes me want to keep an eye on this one. 492 break, 512 first target, 485 would be the stops here. SQNM genome stock, next breakout is 518, 540 would be the targets, and entry on a $5 break, or stops on a $5 break for me would be 490. And again, if this one really starts to motor, Monday and Tuesday, definitely GENE and Genome, which we mentioned earlier, are definitely two to keep an eye on for peer trades. Last but not least, LDK, China Solar Play, right at a breakout at its 200-day moving average. And as you recall, over the last 3-4 weeks, stocks have been coiling, breaking, and romping over the 200-day moving average now. This stock has been in an ascending triangle formation. This is the third triangle. Typically, this is the big breakout triangle. 570 breakout, 620 is target. How do we get to that 620 target? Let's look at the 1-year chart. Previous resistance before the late summer fall sell-off on this stock, 620 target. 560 would be my stops on this one, and each time the stock has been going on this move, it's been at least moving 16, 17 cents, which gives you an upside target of at least 576, just playing that one. But nice consolidation here. Could be a nice little runner on Monday. So that is it for the PopScan video. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, feedback@buysellshort.com or .net. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room on Monday. Goodbye.